Hey Cancer, we are going to be doing your reading, so we're going to get right into it. Sorry, my phone is like shaking. I'm not really sure what's up. But all right, so Cancer, let's see what is going on for you guys. I know you can see that, right? Like the camera's like literally shaking, or it was. So all right, let's see. Cancer. All right. Magician's at the bottom. Okay, so let's see. Cancer, you guys have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is showing up for your energy for the week here. So I feel like there's something that you're like putting together, or you're the one who's like taking care of something, putting something together, that kind of stuff. That's just kind of what I'm feeling here. Maybe on behalf of somebody else, or making sure that something like gets up and running. It just feels like you're like the responsible one of like whatever this is. That's kind of what I'm understanding. So all right. You guys have the Ten of Wands, and this is showing up in the area of your feelings. Maybe you're feeling a level of, well, okay, here's the thing. There's either something that you're feeling like, well, I kind of started this thing, so like therefore like I have to follow through with it, okay? Maybe there is a feeling of like, you know, following through, completing something, that kind of stuff. But I will also say there is something here that I'm almost getting like a bit of nervousness or I don't know what it is. Something about this energy that is like a little bit interesting to me. Yeah, possibly feeling a little bit nervous about something, or feeling, or questioning like the end result of something, you know, whether something is complete or not. That's what I'm feeling. So all right, you guys have the Eight of Swords, and this is showing up in the environment around you. So if this is a person, maybe this is a person who's feeling kind of like trapped in some sense, or is feeling maybe is even somebody who like maybe has like one particular idea in their head, and it's like that's what it is, and there's maybe a hard time kind of like shaking free from that in some sense, okay, that kind of stuff. And I'm also picking up like confusion, or being like I'm stuck, like I'm stuck, I don't know, something about that, okay, showing up here. So all right, and I wonder if you're feeling, here's the thing, if there's somebody around you who's kind of like maybe even like in an energy of like maybe keeping themselves in a certain like mind state for whatever reason here, then I wonder if you're feeling like, well, I have to be, again, like I have to be the responsible one, so like I'll take over their responsibilities too. Okay, something about that. I'm kind of understanding that. Oh, okay. All right, well, I don't know. That's okay. Sorry, I don't know what's going on today. All right, we're just gonna keep on going. So, okay, you guys have the Lovers card, and this is showing up for your goal here. So, yeah, it feels like there's I think there's a level of you guys wanting to have something that is like working like cohesively. Maybe this is working cohesively with somebody else, that kind of situation. All right, and I also want to say something. I want to say something about like finding a match of some sort, okay? I don't mean like a match that you could like strike, like a match. Or maybe I don't know, maybe. I actually collect matches, like matchbooks, so maybe that's something you guys collect as well. Okay, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, there's something about that, is like you having the goal of like finding like the perfect match of something, or wanting something to, again, like be, I almost want to say like have no problems with something. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. I got to tell you, Cancer, I feel like your reading is going to come out in like not like the like typical like keyword definition of like tarot cards, okay? That I can already kind of feel that energy. So, all right, for your challenge, you guys have the King of Swords. So maybe part of the challenge here is possibly something to do with communication, okay? Or the organization of something. I also understand somebody who's like not understanding something, but who wants to. Do you know what I mean? And that might be this Eight of Swords here. This might be somebody who's like, okay, I actually like really have a question about that, or I don't really understand like what is going on here, but maybe it's like holding themselves like kind of captive in that energy, that kind of stuff, for one reason or another, okay? That kind of stuff. Or maybe this is somebody who is literally like kind of like confined in a particular situation, or whatever it is, all right? That kind of stuff. Somebody might be feeling restricted from something, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, so let's see. You have the Knight of Cups, and this is showing up as your I was gonna say appetizer. That's friggin' awesome. So that I kind of love that. I'm such an appetizer person, so I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'm just hungry. I'm not sure. But okay, so the Knight of Cups showing up for your opportunity. So all right, I like that. I feel like there's something about maybe being like really sensitive towards like what is happening in general, or being quite sensitive towards somebody, again, who maybe is like not fully understanding something, but might be feeling like, God, I should know this, so I'm just gonna kind of like pretend I do while staying in a state of like, I don't know what to do next. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. And I do understand that. Like it might be that the challenge here is maybe this is an individual who's like feeling like, well, everyone else understands this. Like, why can't I? Or something about that. All right. That kind of stuff. That might be something that's happening. So, all right. Let's see what else we can get for you guys, Cancer. I really apologize that my phone is like going, I don't know, it's doing something really interesting. I can't understand why. I feel like it doesn't usually do that. So, all right, let's see. All right. I think I really like this Queen of Pentacles as your energy. That this feels very comforting to me. It feels like there's a level of comfort, and again, like taking responsibility for something, or like nurturing something, taking care of something, that kind of stuff. For some of you guys, I even understand putting something together creatively, that kind of thing. Maybe you're feeling a little bit crunched on time in some sense, that kind of stuff. Okay, that could be it. You know what I also understand is somebody being like, this is too tight. Like this is too tight. I feel constricted. This is too tight. Something like that. Okay. All right. Okay. Or claustrophobic. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. All right. Let's see. Cancer. You know what I'm getting is you know the movie Mean Girls, when they're like, who has been personally, it was like, raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by like Regina George, I think her name is. Princess of Pentacles. I don't know. I just got like slammed with that, but okay. So, all right, let's see. You guys, so with the Queen of Pentacles, you guys have the Sun card. So this feels awesome. That's what I'm saying. There's something here that I think that you are like putting together or taking care of whatever it is in hopes to maybe have a really good result about something, or to make sure that something is able to be like seen or, you know, put on display in some sense, that kind of stuff. For some of you guys, this could be you guys putting something together in the terms of like, I'm doing this thing for like my child, or this, or creating in this way is like healing my inner child, that kind of stuff. Okay. Interesting. That Queen of Pentacles is like really has like, I feel like a lot to say, or this is somebody who is like extremely wise. I'm almost getting like someone who's like really, I don't know, maybe like doesn't like react strongly to things, or there's something about this Queen of Pentacles here showing up in your energy that it's like, you know, it's interesting. You have it there with the Sun card. You might be somebody who people are just naturally comfortable, you know, like being around, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. And that Sun card might be like, you know, you might be aware that like you're kind of like radiating something, or I don't know, something like that. So let's see. With the Ten of Wands, you guys have the Hierophant here. This is showing up for the air of your feelings. Yeah, it feels like you've maybe like made a commitment towards something, that kind of stuff, and now you're just feeling the energy of like, I need to follow through on this, that kind of stuff. Okay, and I'm telling you, there's maybe there's something here about maybe even feeling like, okay, I believe that this thing was going to end this way, or whatever the heck it is. And I wonder if that was like, maybe you're feeling like, oh, I don't really know how this is going to end now, or I don't know how this is, like what the result of whatever this is, like what is this going to be, that kind of stuff. Okay. Something about that. There is something that I feel like you're like, I need to get to the end of this. Like this thing needs to be completed, that kind of stuff. All right. Okay. I'm even getting somebody who's feeling like this needs to be complete so that I can enter this into something. Okay, something like that. So, all right, you guys have the Eight of Swords, and then you have it with the Knight of Pentacles here showing up in your environment. I think this is somebody who's maybe feeling like something needs to be like completely perfect in some sense, that kind of thing. And I also do understand that this is somebody who's maybe been like feeling, yeah, it's like that feeling of like, okay, I've gone over this thing like a whole bunch of times, but like I'm still not really like understanding something, or I feel like a level of like, you know, I'm just going to kind of stay here because I just, it feels like there's somebody who doesn't want to speak up in the sense of being like, again, I'm not understanding this, or I don't know like which way to go, or, you know, something like that. That's kind of what I'm understanding. And it feels like it's maybe like taking a long time, or this is somebody who's maybe taken a really long time to like set themselves free from something, that kind of thing. All right, that's kind of what I'm understanding here. There might even be some like restless energy rolling around, all right? Possibly, you know, the energy of somebody who maybe has been feeling like kind of like captive for too long, you know, that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's see. You guys have the Devil card, and you have it with the Lovers here. All right, and this is showing up for your goal. So, all right, let's see. So, yeah, I do think that there's still this goal of like wanting something to just kind of like work out, or something to like kind of be like cohesive in some sense. All right, I wonder if there's even something that you're like, I want these two things to look identical, or I want these things to kind of like be very much the same. Something about that could certainly be part of whatever this is. Okay, feels like in the previous energy here with the Devil card, I feel like there is maybe something that you maybe were keeping in order to like repurpose it for something, or something about that. All right, I also wonder if there is maybe something in the past that like you were very much linked to here, that kind of stuff. You know, you might be dealing with a Capricorn person, or you might have Capricorn energy, you know, in your chart, that kind of thing. But it feels like there's this energy of being like, okay, I'm chained to this thing, or this is, I don't know, this thing comes with this. It's a package deal. Like if you get one, you get the other, like that kind of situation. And I feel like your goal now is possibly to keep that energy like together in some sense, that kind of stuff. Okay. For some of you, maybe there is an energy of possibly wanting to break away from something that you're seeing as like, this takes up all my time or all my energy, that kind of stuff. But I more so understand this in the energy of keeping something together, you know, that kind of thing. All right. So you have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is showing up as the action to take here. So there could be an energy of maybe being like kind of independent, that kind of stuff. All right. Certainly could be. I even wonder if there's like a particular sacrifice in some sense that maybe like if you kind of did that, like whatever that means, you know, sacrificing one thing for another thing, that kind of stuff. I wonder if that is like going to bring in this energy of like cohesion, or having everything kind of like really be like in alignment, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Sometimes this happens, and I get like the energy of like the spine. I don't really know why this happens, but it does. Like the spine, or the vertebrae in the spine, something about that. Okay, I'm getting that energy. I'm picking that up. All right, there's something about that, and I do feel like maybe there is an energy here, or kind of wanting to have something like really be like in alignment. You know, whatever the heck it is. Okay, especially if possibly in the past maybe there was an energy of like over giving to something, or being overly materialistic in some sense, that kind of stuff. All right, there might be something here that it's like, and now I want to, you know, get this back in alignment, that kind of stuff. All right, so, okay, you have the Lovers card, and this is showing up as what this Nine of Pentacles might possibly bring in here. So you have the Lovers card twice, so it feels like it's going to bring in exactly whatever it is that is your personal goal, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is like a really a pretty good indication of like whatever it is, again, whatever it is that you're wanting here, you absolutely have access to it. It's like this Nine of Pentacles is bringing in that Lovers card energy, okay, that kind of stuff. So I definitely feel like there's something about again, maybe having to do something independent, or isolating a particular thing, okay, that kind of situation, in order to have something else be like unified, or to be like in alignment. I don't know, that kind of stuff. Like I'm getting like a chiropractor, or somebody who I know in one of the air sign readings, I was getting the energy of someone who like does like Reiki, or, you know, something like that. Okay, that's kind of what I'm feeling. I also wonder if there's an energy of like a Tower card moment that might be like coming up. Do you have the Tower anywhere? No, but I am feeling that, you know what I'm saying, like something about that. But I think that it might be like a beneficial one in the long run. All right, that's what I feel. So all right, let's see. Some of you guys might have this thing where like, this is gonna, I don't even know where this is coming from. Well, actually I do. It's coming from the Saturn symbol here. Okay, I feel like there's maybe, sorry, that's Capricorn. It's Capricorn or Saturn. I get the two of them friggin' mixed up. I don't know. But there might be something here where it's like, the way that you're looking at something, or how you're like resting your eyes on something, there might be something in there, okay? That's going to be something like super personal, okay? If that makes no sense, then don't worry about it, okay? That's going to be something where it's like, okay, yes, I know what you're talking about, or like, what are you saying? All right, that kind of thing. So, okay, what to avoid here is the Queen of Swords. So this could be maybe avoiding not paying attention to something that you kind of like know should have attention on it in some sense, okay? This could also be the avoidance of maybe I want to say criticizing something here or being like overly critical, that kind of stuff. What I would also say here with this Queen of Swords, that could be like, sometimes that kind of makes me think of like inner dialogue. Like if you're being kind of like mean to yourself or like something about that, you know, I kind of understand that. And also I do think that there's like this thing of like avoiding maybe like really over analyzing something for right now, whatever it is, okay, that kind of stuff. Whether this is over analyzing yourself or over analyzing somebody else, that kind of situation, all right? That's what I'm feeling. I do understand the energy of somebody who's like really sensitive about something. So that might be what we're talking about here. Okay. Something regarding that. So, all right, let's see. With the King of Swords, you guys have the Nine of Wands here for showing up for your challenge. So, all right, so here's the thing. I feel like this challenge has, again, something to do with either feeling like you have to be the one who's like organizing everything. You have to like know everything that's going on. You have to be like an expert at whatever it is, that kind of stuff. But I wonder if there is this energy of you, again, maybe, yeah, just like feeling like you have to be the one with all the answers. That's kind of what I'm understanding here. That's what I'm feeling. In the previous energy, you guys have the Nine of Wands there. So I wonder if there was like something where like maybe you were trying to complete something or trying to even like maybe keep like pushing something back or something like that. Okay, that kind of thing. And I even wonder if somebody is like asking you a whole bunch of questions about something here, and you might be like, well, hold on, in the past I kind of like pushed that away, but now we're here and there has to be some type of communication, or there has to be some type of like organization or whatever the heck it is, something regarding that. Okay, what I will also say here is like Lover's card and Lover's card, this King of Swords, it could be the challenge is just doing something that is like either really like neutral in some sense. Okay, and that's hard to do, especially with that Nine of Wands showing up previously. You might be feeling this energy of like, okay, well, I had to be on guard for this particular thing, or I had to use like kind of all my strength to get to where I am now, that kind of thing. And it could be that it's like maybe you're feeling fatigued, overwhelmed, whatever it is, that kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, King of Swords, and now I have to like have all my thoughts organized and this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? There's something about that. Okay, so you have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is showing up as the action to take. So yeah, I do think that there's something about taking like the most grounded effort with whatever this is here. And also I want to say something about like, doing something with your hands, or doing something like resourcefully, DIY, that kind of stuff, creating something here, that kind of situation. That's really what I'm feeling. And there is an energy of maybe even like being very aware in like a body awareness type of thing. Okay, something about that. I don't know really what that is entailing, but there might be something about that. Okay, I know we were saying before this Eight of Swords, I was like, I kind of feel like somebody thinks something is like too tight or too claustrophobic, that kind of stuff. Okay, so maybe that's kind of like what it is that we're talking about here. All right, like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like make sure that like everything is like as comfortable as it can be, or that like you're as comfortable, or somebody that you're taking care of is like as like maybe physically comfortable as they can be, or something like that. So you have the Two of Cups, and this is showing up as what this is going to bring in. I feel like it's going to bring in a sense of like, okay, I like this works, that kind of stuff. It actually kind of feels like it's the first step towards this Lover's energy that is showing up as your goal. Some of you guys maybe are wanting to connect with a Capricorn. Maybe Capricorn. I was trying to say Gemini though, okay? It feels like you've got a whole lot of Gemini energy, all right? Eight of Swords over here, Lover's card twice, okay? You also have the Eight of Swords twice. So yeah, and the King of Swords twice. A lot of double energy. Again, you have the Lover's card twice. So let's see. All right. So you have the Ace of Swords, and this is showing up as what to avoid. So this is very interesting. Queen of Swords is what to avoid. Also the Ace of Swords. There is something about like a specific level of communication or lack thereof that I feel like that's like maybe that has been avoided in the past, or there's been like a stay back, this thing is mine, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of energy. There certainly could be, and there's something about that. So it's like, to me, I'm getting this Ace of Swords as what to avoid is like avoiding a particular topic of some sort, or this is to avoid not speaking up when you want to, or something about that, okay, that kind of stuff. But there is a particular like subject or something here that I'm feeling like it's like, hey, avoid that one particular thing, okay, that kind of stuff. This might even be like avoiding feeling like somebody is absolutely going to tell you like the truth about something. Unfortunately, there might be like a little bit of like, don't expect somebody just to like kind of like come in with like this like breakthrough knowledge, or like coming in with like a real energy of like, this is the truth, whatever the heck it is. I don't even, that feels a little fuzzy, but you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm understanding. So, all right, you have the Four of Wands, well, you have the Knight of Cups, and you have it with the Four of Wands here, showing up for your opportunity. So yeah, that it feels like there is a level of like possibly being really like sensitive, or maybe really displaying your emotions, or moving towards somebody in like kind of a heart-based type of way, that kind of stuff. And I'm getting that. I'm getting stuff about like relationships, maybe like a love, or that kind of stuff, okay? And I also do get a heavy energy of like, again, creativity, something about that, or being like really good with like being resourceful, being like using your hands, like DIY, like that, I don't know, something like that kind of stuff, okay? Maybe you guys are like, you're just really good at like creating, or whatever the heck it is, or like making, like literally making something, like I almost want to say like sculptures or like clay, that kind of stuff, all right? There is something about that. So, all right. Let's see. So then you have the Four of Wands, and that's showing up previous to this energy here. So I do feel like something was like, maybe went off like really, really well. Something went off without a hitch here, or there was something that was like already kind of like finalized, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of situation. I feel like that kind of happened in the past here. And now I feel like there's this opportunity to like continue moving in that direction, okay? Or to like keep the celebration going, keep the honeymoon phase going, something like that with whatever this is. So, all right, you have the Eight of Swords, and this is showing up as the action to take. I really do feel like this is the indication of like, there's either something in your environment that you're feeling constricted by, or feeling confined by, or an energy of like, I've been waiting here for literally forever. I'm waiting, like what's going on, that kind of stuff. I wonder if this is like, hey, just kind of acknowledging that maybe, something is taking a really long time, or an energy of maybe acknowledging that somebody else is like not really understanding like something, or is maybe looking at something in like kind of a closed-minded way. I don't know if this is like on purpose. I think that this is just like the way somebody like goes through their day. There also might be a reference here about like daily schedules, or schedules in general, the organization of that kind of stuff. All right, there could certainly be something that is kind of showing up in that capacity. So you have the Seven of Swords, and this is showing up as what this Eight of Swords is going to bring. I feel like this is bringing in help in some sense, like some intervention, or some help, whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. Maybe even an indication of like maybe acting early on something, that kind of stuff, okay? Maybe recognizing like, oh, like this, this situation, we need to kind of like broaden our focus here, broaden our horizon, something about that, all right? I do feel like it's bringing in some type of like, this says Lord of Unstable Effort. I'm almost getting like a last stitch effort, something like that, okay? That's kind of what I'm feeling. So you have the King of Swords, and this is showing up as what to avoid. And again, you have the King of Swords showing up as your challenge. So yeah, maybe there's somebody here who is not communicating to a particular person in the way that like maybe they should be, or something about that, and that certainly might have like caused some situation here that maybe is feeling like a little bit out of balance, or whatever it is, that kind of stuff, okay? So I think that's kind of so that makes sense to me. Like, avoid feeling like you have to know, that you have to be like have like a rebuttal for everything, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. And I also feel like there really should be an avoidance of maybe somebody who is kind of like being deceitful. For some of you guys, this Seven of Swords with the King of Swords here, it could be that whatever's happening here is you might kind of receive evidence or proof, or whatever the heck it is, of maybe something that is inaccurate, or something that maybe is just completely not fair, or one-sided, or something like that, okay? That kind of stuff. All right, certainly could be. All right, I also want to say like maybe avoid like over calculating something, or doing something like in a very like kind of like calculated type of way. All right, that kind of stuff, especially with that Knight of Cups showing up for like part of your opportunity, you know, like that's like heart-based, that's like romantic, like being a poet, you know, being like a sensitive person, a sensitive soul, you know, that kind of stuff. Maybe like kind of following your dream or whatever the heck it is, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, so that's what I have for you guys, Cancer. I hope this reading was helpful and made sense, all that kind of stuff. If not, you could check your other placements, and I'll see you guys back for your next one. Thank you. Bye.